everybody. Welcome to our latest installment of Paul's Journal for September 11, 2022. This is Big Paulie coming to you, recording this about, let me see what time it be. It is 8:35 in the AM, so nothing. 21 years ago, we were still waiting for the world to change, tragically, and it would about 12 minutes or so from this particular moment in time as I record this. Um, I was just waking up on 9/11 at a little before 9 o'clock, I'm sorry to say. And I think I had breakfast and I turned on the news. Turned on. Now, see, this is how different I was back then. I watched MSNBC because our cable system didn't have Fox News, so I would watch MSNBC and not CNN. And I was expecting to see Don Imus, and then all of a sudden, da 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 da, breaking news. And the anchors were Greg Jarrett and Chris Chansing, and they were just getting their microphone battery packs on, and they were breaking the news that something very serious had happened in New York. A plane had run into the World Trade Center. And I thought at the time, now keep in mind this is before the chain of events really started to unfold. At just before 9 o'clock, all the networks were watching this hole in one of the towers of the World Trade Center, and I thought, tragic accident. It's a New York story, so it'll be on all day. And I really didn't think much of it. But my mother was working for one of the nursing homes here actually, she was working for one off of St. Petersburg, off of Ninth and Roosevelt. So I start calling her to tell her that this had happened because it was all over the news. And then as I'm calling her and talking to the switchboard operator, I say, "Oh, I see another explosion." And that's all I saw. I didn't see the plane go in. And I'm talking to the switchboard operator, and they show replays almost right away of the event that had happened. Another plane going into the World Trade Center, and it was just. I have an aunt who worked in Manhattan at the time, uh, and it was pandemonium after that. And then we got two or three sets on in the apartment in Largo, and I'm just going from set to set to set to pick up pieces of information. And then I see pictures of the Pentagon, smoke from the Pentagon, and seeing that plane had crashed. And then, I'm talking back and forth with my relatives and so forth. One is and still is an airline pilot, and that's Ella, by the way, just clawing on my chair. Thank you very much, Ella. Then the tower that was hit the second, a little after 9 in the morning, collapses at 10 o'clock, and you're like, oh, this is something the world had never seen before, obviously, and has never seen since. And I'm relaying information back and forth between relatives to my mother, and concerns are coming up here and there. And then at 10:30, we find out that the tower that was hit first had collapsed. And then we would hear a little later that another plane had gone down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. News was getting out of that, and that was the plane that probably would have hit the White House. Regardless of who did what that day, you got to remember that somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 people died, and it is still by far one of the great tragedies we have had in modern American society. And they will read the names as they always do, and everybody's going to remember the victims as they always do, and they always should. And God bless them. This has been Big Paulie, Paul Blum, Paul's Journal, September 11, 2022. Take care, everybody.